Good morning from the historic Ty Boyd studio. Bo Thompson here alongside Beth Troutman. I'd like to welcome to the room also our market manager, general manager for Radio 1 Charlotte, Marsha Landess is here. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's great to have you here in the room. We also have WBT sports director Jim Szoke.
Good morning. Great to be here. Love the show.
We also have a WBT program director, Mike Schaefer, in the room today.
Good morning. Great to be here. I love Jim Szoke.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
We all love Jim Szoke.
I do too.
We
Is this
love
the announcement?
Yes.
That's it. That's
Yes.
it. That was it. Now, we all love this radio station. And I want to, for the moment, because, you know, this is kind of what I do, I want to go back a little bit. The first WBT FM launched in 1947 on the 99.9 frequency, playing storecasting music. It was ultimately discontinued. WBT FM returned to launch on 107.9 in 1962, first playing classical and then beautiful music. In 1978, WBT FM became WBCY, initially playing album-oriented rock before fully embracing contemporary hit top 40 music in the mid-1980s. I remember because I was listening. They used the moniker All Hit 108 WBCY.
All Hit 108 WBCY Charlotte.
In 1989, it became WBT FM again as an adult contemporary station, 107.9 Sunny FM.
Now, specially designed for you to listen longer, with at least 50 minutes of the greatest hits of yesterday and today on Charlotte's new 107.9 Sunny FM.
All new 107.9 Sunny FM.
It's been a while since we heard that jingle. Meanwhile, Sunny FM later became WWSN, then later years became WLNK as 107.9 The Link. Meanwhile, in 1995, Jefferson Pilot bought Chester, South Carolina-based 99.3 WBZK FM. Those call letters were later changed to WBT FM. And so now, 30 years later, this December 11th, that's in just a few days, WBT history will be made again as the WBT FM call letters return to 107.9's frequency with the debut of Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 FM WBT coming later this week. And we are so excited to announce that the future of WBT is now going to be on the most powerful FM frequency in this market, and for that matter, in this region. 107.9 WBT will happen on Thursday morning.
Thursday of this week, 107.9 Charlotte's FM News Talk.
It's a very, very, very exciting time. Very exciting time for this radio station. And it just shows that we're moving into the future, right? We want to be here 50 years from now. And this is really, really important for us to be doing this. And so excited.
Well, look, we couldn't be more thrilled when we got the news at the end of last week. We had a little celebration here in the studio. I baked cookies today for everybody so that we could all celebrate together. But I think most importantly, we want to say thank you because that means that you all in Radio 1, you have faith in us.
Mike Schaefer, you have been the captain of the ship here for the better part of this last decade. This is a big deal for this radio station.
It is a big deal, and it's been a long road, as Marsha will tell all of us off the air at some point. There hasn't been a week that's gone by since I've known her that I haven't talked about this very moment. So, to say that it's a big deal is obvious, but it most definitely is. And in personally, because it, like I said, has been a long road.
Well, when you talk about the history of this station and you talk about the famous and longstanding AM stations across the country, the ones that are still viable and the ones that are still around, quite frankly, if you look around in the major markets, are ones that have begun broadcasting on a high-powered FM. Now, I'll tell you, sitting here share, as a longtime employee of this radio station and a student of its history, that I have longed for the day where this station would finally be on an FM signal of this power. It deserves to be here. But quite frankly, I never thought I'd see the day that we would be on 107.9. And as a kid growing up, I listened to two stations in this market. I listened to this one, 1110 WBT, and I listened to 107.9, which, as I said back in those days, was 108 WBCY. But those were the two most near and dear signals to me, and two of the most powerful ones, obviously. And the opportunity for this station to now be on 107.9, I never thought I'd see this day, but I'm so incredibly excited about this. You may be wondering what happens to the other Radio 1 properties, and we'll talk about this for a second, Marsha. WLNK, which is Mix 107.9, will now be found at 100.9 FM and 99.3 FM. Continuing to deliver Charlotte's best mix for adult contemporary music fans. Their current lineup of people like Matt and Liz and Holly Hayes and Madison James will still be there. Praise 100.9, Charlotte's inspiration station, will now broadcast on 102.5 FM and 610 AM. 102.5 The Block, which has been Charlotte's source for hip-hop and R&B, will be exiting this market. So you're wondering how the dominoes are affected or how they fall based on WBT moving to 107.9. There's your sort of decoder sheet for that.
Yeah, and I have to say this was not... This decision, obviously, when you look at moving that many listeners and having them find new dials, was not made into lightly. But when we looked at our asset of radio stations and we looked at the listeners that we're trying to deliver to and looked at our advertisers, quite frankly, right? Because without our advertisers, we don't exist. And so we just felt that by making this move and getting WBT on an FM for the future of the radio station and for the future of the existence of us being able to really do what we do, which is serve the community, serve our listeners, serve our advertisers, this was a really important move to make. So the good news is, again, lots of research went into this. And so with our other radio stations and where their listeners fall, it's going to be a win-win for everybody. And I could not be more excited to have WBT on a high-powered 100,000 watt FM, which is amazing.
We have more to talk about here. I know there's a lot of reaction out there, probably. I mean, this is the biggest. I've been working here almost 30 years, and this is by far the biggest announcement that I've been a part of here. But this is a 103-year-old radio station, and so we don't do anything as it regards this station lightly around here, and of course never have. You may be wondering what happens to 1110, the 1110 AM signal, and we will talk about that when we come back here on WBT. But again, coming up this Thursday, it is history in the making as we become 107.9 FM WBT. Now, you may have questions. You probably have many questions. We had questions.
I had questions.
But I think the biggest question outside of where we're moving is what becomes of 1110. We're here to tell you today that 1110 in the immediate future on Thursday will continue to simulcast WBT. That will happen for the rest of this month. In early January, WBT will cease to broadcast the brand on 1110. Now, Mike, I want to get you to speak to a little bit about that because that is obviously a question that people have had some thoughts about.
Sure, absolutely. We are currently sitting in the Ty Boyd studio at WBT. That history is something that is near and dear to all of us, myself included, Marsha included, all of you and everyone here listening. That brand, WBT, will continue. We will be the stewards of that history at 107.9 FM. Not going away, not going to be forgotten, and will be, talked about for the next 100 years, which is why we're making this move. As it regards WBT AM 1110, we will continue as a company, Radio 1 and Urban 1 will continue to proudly own and operate AM 1110 WBT. There's no question about that, and please stay tuned for announcements coming as to exactly what that programming will be.
And Marsha, in order to make the move to 107.9, which is what we're doing, which is a tremendous, tremendous opportunity, in order to make that move, Radio 1 had to make a decision, a business decision about how that could happen. And part of the way that happens is what Mike just talked about, the fact that in early January, the WBT brand will have to move from 1110.
Yes. I mean, and please note that to do this behind the scenes, we had about 15 to 20 people working on this for quite some time. Again, this is not something that we take lightly, and this brand is so very important to us. And you're going to stay in this studio. The history of this studio will remain. The history of the people that have made this radio station so important. But yes, it is a business decision. I mean, we had to protect our number one asset in this cluster and our number one radio station, and that is WBT. And so with that, we had to put it on a signal that more people could hear it. And yes, we have a powerful 50,000 watt radio station, right? But 100,000 watts delivering to listeners and consumers to support our advertisers. So yes, it was a business decision, but as Mike said, not taken without the emotional attachment to this brand and the history and being there at the 100th and knowing how many people have sat in these seats and appreciating that. But yeah, we're very, very excited for the future of the radio station.
Well, and one of the things that we talked about that we're so excited about, just as people who are so dedicated to the people we listen to, and we love our listeners so much, so many people have been reaching out to us in the last several months, the last year. They've bought new cars or they've updated their technology, and suddenly they didn't have access to WBT 1110 AM the way that they did before, that the AM wasn't in some manufactured cars that were manufactured after the year 2020. And they wanted to make sure that they could hear us and figure out the best ways to hear us. And we're not getting rid of our streaming. People were asking in other parts of the
Absolutely
country,
not.
Can they still listen on WBT.com?
Yes, absolutely, positively. We're just taking our local radio signal and making it even more powerful. But yes, you can still listen to it all the ways you could before. Absolutely.
Well, Bo and I have been here the longest, and as you know, we used to market this as you could hear 11:10 a.m. from Maine to Miami to Cuba, and so we've always been proud of that power. But you're talking about moving to the quality of FM, 100,000 watt signal like this is a landmark day. This is like one of those days in the history of the 103 years. That's fantastic. So congratulations to everybody. You said 15 to 20 people have been working on that. It's a great concept, and I appreciate all the hard work. Mike, my suggestion still stands. With the FM, lock it in, rip the knob off. If you want to use that, I don't think anyone's ever used that before. But
No, I've never heard that.
Lock it in, rip the knob off. Just think about it.
Well, you know,
I will take that into consideration.
Well, I also think, too, what you just said is so important, because when we said those statements about how far you could reach us, we didn't have streaming back then, right? There was no streaming. You still can hear us. All through, you can hear us worldwide.
Mm-hmm. And so many people listen to WBT in modern times on demand. They listen to it on Spotify. They listen to it at WBT.com. They listen to it on the worldwide mobile app, as I always say. And so listen, you all know how devoted I am to the history of these call letters. I have put my heart, my soul, every ounce of my being into making sure that the call letters are preserved and they're honored the way they should be. The 100th anniversary several years ago, that was a tremendous labor of love. And we, I believe, properly honored and commemorated this station after a century of service, because it's built on the shoulders of so many people that were in that room that night. But I want this station to exist for another century, or well into another century. And this move right here, this is the move that best positions us to carry on that torch. There is no question about it. Like I said before, this is the premier FM signal in this region, and the opportunity for us to be on, again, what has been in the past, WBT FM, not WBT as we are right now in that form, but the call letters, WBT FM. There's one other place where those have been, and here we are. Right now, we're going to really lean into this starting on Thursday and take this station into a new era of broadcasting. And all of the people that you listen to now, and all of the people that we still honor to this day, the Ty Boyd studio is not going anywhere. I try to say Ty Boyd as often as I can every day, because again, those are the shoulders we're built on, and the Grady Coles and Bob Lacey's, and I could go on and on. But none of us in this room are ever going to forget any of them. This is the way to make sure that legacy lives on into the future. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, is can we keep this going?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you just nailed it. It's keeping the legacy going. And this move is the way that we are going to keep this so important, amazing radio station going. And as you said, for the next 100, the next 200, I plan us being around here forever. My great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren will be listening to WBT on the FM.
Well, and look, as Beth said, there are some young people right now that don't even know what AM is. There are some cars that are being built that don't have AM in them. We love AM, but the reason we love AM is because of what it's been, and FM 107.9 gives us the best ability to keep the AM dream alive of what WBT, the brand, has been for 103 years. And so, again, coming up on Thursday, 107.9 FM, WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk, a brand new era for this radio station.
Woo!
And Beth will sound so smooth in FM.
It'll be like a whipped cream sandwich.
So, with all of,
Is that a thing?
It is now.
That's better than my suggestion.
Rip the knob.
Yeah, so it's a whipped cream sandwich.
we have the ideas just through the roof right now. So we have so much
We're
more.
still working out some of the kinks.